Hello, folks. It's yours truly, the one and only. Today, I want to get on here and try to make a case for why Clemson is in a position to make a playoff push or playoff run this year and the last year of the 14 playoff before it gets expanded to 12 teams. I want to first go over some of the pros and cons, I guess you want to call it, or what Clemson did great in the offseason and what things they need to look out for. I think the obvious one is the home run hire that Dabo did and hiring Garrett Riley and then unfortunately having to fire Brandon Streeter. I don't wish no ill will for Brandon Streeter. I hope the best for his adventures down the road, but I believe Clemson had a home run hire with Garrett Riley. Now, with the cons to that, one of the biggest questions that Clemson is going to have this year is who's going to be the number one guy or the number one receiver for Clemson. It can't be all on Will Shipley. Will Shipley is a stud running back, but it can't be all on him. So who's going to be willing to step up? Is it going to be Antonio Williams? Is it going to be what's his name? Adam Randall? Is it going to be another guy that we're not even talking about? And then the second major concern for me is the Clemson secondary. I don't think the Clemson front seven is going to be as bad this year. I know they lost a ton of pieces in the front seven, but Clemson's also been putting out D lineman after D lineman after D lineman for years now. You can go look at the track record. But when teams weren't able to pass the ball very efficiently, the Clemson secondary got exposed badly, such as the Wake Forest game, the South Carolina game, the the Tennessee game. So, anyways, those are two big concerns. I think as far as the receiver problem, I think we'll have a better passing attack this year than last year. And I think it's just due to addition by subtraction. But as far as the secondary, I think Wes Goodwin, I think the jury's still out on him. I know the players love him, but the product isn't showing on the field compared to Brett Venables. Anyways, let's get to the schedule and see where I think Clemson can end up at. Their first game is at Duke. That could be an easy trap game for Clemson because Duke is I feel like they're a borderline top 25 team for this year. They were a quiet 7-5 team and won their bowl game. Now, will they be top 25? I don't know. I definitely don't see them being top 10. But I think they're going to be like that that borderline top 25 team this season. But I think Clemson will find a way to get by. And then you got two gimme games with Charleston Southern and Florida Atlantic. Now, this is going to be the next game is going to be the game of the year in the ACC. It's Clemson and Florida State. Clemson this year is going to have the benefit of having Florida State at home. Florida State's going to return a ton of production. Now the question is the Florida State that beat LSU going to show up this year, or is it going to be the Florida State that lost to Wake Forest last year going to show up? I don't know. Then you have a road trip to Syracuse. And then after that, you have a home game with Wake Forest. Then their bye week, I believe. I could be wrong, but their next opponent is a road trip to Miami. Then another road trip to NC State. And then their second biggest game of the year is Notre Dame at home. Notre Dame this year is going to be a lot better than they were last year. Now, Clemson also has the benefit of playing them at home this year as well. Last year they got killed on the road. in South Bend. This year they're going to have them at home. Although Notre Dame has a quarterback that's familiar with Clemson and Sam Hartman now. So, who knows? After that, it's going to be Georgia Tech at home. Georgia Tech is just Georgia Tech. North Carolina, I think North Carolina is going to be a little bit overrated this year because even though North Carolina has Drake May is only one person. And who's he going to throw the ball to? Plus, that North Carolina defense was terrible last year, especially towards the end. And then the final game is South Carolina. That if Clemson's going to make a run at the playoff, they got to beat South Carolina. Anyways, as far as my prediction, I'm gonna say 11-1. It's easier for Clemson to go 11-1 than it would be 12-0 because this is really difficult for any team to go 12-0. Now, who they lose to, I don't know, but for Clemson to make the playoff, they gotta go either 12-0 or 11-1 and win the ACC title, which probably will be Florida State. So who knows? They might lose the Florida State regular season and then beat them in the championship game, or they might beat them twice. Who knows? And even if they beat Florida State and then lose to Notre Dame, it could go either way. And as far as the doubters or the haters say, "Oh, Clemson don't play nobody," well, the ACC gave them their toughest brands in football, so there's not much more the ACC can do to help Clemson on their schedule. I mean, you have Florida State, you have Miami, you have North Carolina, you have NC State. Those are the top brands in the ACC. The only duds they have on the schedule are Syracuse and Georgia Tech. I mean, they can't control, which it may end up biting them in the rear end next year because the way the ACC schedule is it's a 3-5-5. So they have 3 permanent rivals every year regardless, and it's going to be 5 on and 5 off. Their 3 permanent rivals are Georgia Tech, Florida State, and NC State. So come next year, they're going to have Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, Boston College, and Louisville. Those are the 5 more weaker brands in the ACC for football. So anyways, that's my take on the potential playoff push for Clemson. I hope you like the content. Like and subscribe it.